Welcome to Shameless. Here we explore the transformative power of courage and action.
Thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed our conversations and you want to have more insightful discussions and hear from other incredible guests, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us to grow and continue bringing this amazing content. Thanks for joining in and enjoy today's episode of Shameless Podcast.
If you don't mind me asking, sort of, how did you end up getting to that space? Why did you choose fintech? And maybe a little bit more about your company, eTransact.
Okay. No, thank you very much. Like I said, it's also a pleasure to be here this afternoon. I said about 20 years ago, and let me also correct something. Someone started 20 years ago, there's no word called fintech.
So, what was it called 20 years ago?
Well, it just, payment transaction, payment system, fintech became a word that, all through them we began to describe what we're doing and different people. So we started basically when there was no word called fintech, but we know we're doing things that had to do with technology, financial technology. So that's where I actually came, financial technology, fintech. And so we're providing technology bits to help, in banking, in financial management and stuff like that. So that's where it came from. Now, coming back to your question, what brought me into financial technology? One, living in Africa and living in a country like Nigeria, a country of about 200 million people today. Meanwhile, at that point in time, less than 10% of our population were banked. Everything you do in the society is always cash. You want to buy a car, you take a bag of cash to the car dealer to buy. You want a house, you take a bag of cash to go and pay. Most of the time, there are checks in those days, but most people don't trust the checks because the check can bounce. That's the word, they can bounce. Bounce meaning that you don't get paid. So there was actually lack of trust. People believe so much in cash because cash is simple. I give you the cash, came over, we'll settle, and then you can buy your stuff and you go. So everything is cash based, but it poses a lot more difficulty, a lot more challenges. What are some of the challenges? What we notice is even in our country, we notice that armed robbers or people are mugged in their homes because they know you have cash at home. Because they're not banking it, they know you have cash at home. So thieves will come to your house to rob you. People are mugged in different areas. But also one thing people don't understand is that it is too expensive. The cost of cash transaction is more expensive than doing it using technology. A simple example, in 2003, thereabout, when we did our first, basically looking at the cost of producing cash, we realized it will cost you around 4 naira to produce 1 naira note.
How is that possible?
Yeah, because of all the security things they have to put on the naira note to make sure it's not forged. Yes, people say forge it anyway, but the cost of doing all that, I bet it will cost you the same to do a 500 naira note, okay? So the issue is that the more cash you produce, the more you spend in doing that. Meanwhile, with electronic transaction, there's no cost there anymore. So that cost is already wiped out. Now, every single rand that you have, it costs the government some money to produce it. Now, because the money of production, they look at also the storage. Look at also the logistics of moving the money around. People don't understand, but these are costs that is already embedded in cash that people don't know. Now, take a simple example. You want to transfer money to somebody, you are living in Johannesburg, and you want to give some money cash in Cape Town. cash. How do you do that? It means you're going to have to travel to Cape Town to do it. We're not even from Johannesburg. Let's say you are in Sandton and you're giving some money to somebody in Rosebank. You have to move from Sandton to Rosebank to Cape. What is the cost of doing that? You don't think about it. They think, oh, I just go and give him money. But there's a cost already involved in just moving from there. Let's even look at the transportation because that is one. And then look at the time cost also, that's another one. Unfortunately, in Africa, people don't look at time as money. So these are costs that are already embedded with every cash transaction. And that is what you save. When you look at the cost and look at the cost of things, using fintech solution to make your payment.
And so just on that point, because I don't remember the last time I used a check. And the inconvenience of that, writing on paper, is so outdated. But when I now look and start using mobile money or some of these World Remit or any of these technologies that we're using for fintech, for transacting and moving money around, how did you see that opportunity within the market before fintech was a word? How did you go, you know what, I'm going to invest so much time because I believe there's growth and an opportunity here?
Yeah. Well, so when we realized it, and because already I was in technology, we're designing, I would say, look, this really is not the way to go. We need to find a better way to do this. In Europe and America, they're using cards, even though they have challenges. But we need to find a better way to do what we're doing in a way that it will resemble cash transaction. Because cash transaction is I give it to you, give it immediately, and it's done. So if we're developing a solution, it must be a solution that resembles that instant settlement.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as we embark on our mission to impact 1 million African lives by 2026.
This podcast is brought to you by Transformation Leader. You can follow us at www.t4leader.com.